Here are the facts. Many more Georgians have contributed to my campaign than to Secretary Handel's campaign.
Your campaign is being propelled by the most liberal of elements, from Nancy Pelosi to Jane Fonda.
Secretary Handel supports a bill that would gut the protections for Americans with pre-existing conditions, hundreds of thousands of them.
My sister has a pre-existing condition. She was born without an esophagus. And for you to suggest that I would do anything that would negatively affect her is absolutely outrageous and unacceptable.
Does either candidate support a minimum wage increase? Mr. Ossoff, starts with you.
Yes, I do. The minimum wage should be a living wage. I think we can raise it indexed to the cost of living, because the cost of living varies widely in urban and rural areas and in different states across this country.
This is an example of the fundamental difference between a liberal and a conservative. I do not support a livable wage. What I support is making sure that we have an economy that is robust, with low taxes and less regulation, so that those small businesses that would be dramatically hurt if you impose higher minimum wages on them are able to do what they do best.
There's far too much money in politics. There's far too much unaccountable money in politics. One of the things that I'm proud of is that my campaign is funded by small dollar grassroots fundraising. The average contribution to my campaign is less than $50, and that's from folks across the country, but also far more Georgians than have contributed to my opponent's campaign. My opponent's campaign, in stark contrast, has been bailed out by unaccountable Washington super PACs who have been running cynical attack ads here in this state for months. They're often funded anonymously. They're funded in unlimited amounts by the very special interests who are keeping anything from getting done in Washington. That's why we need an independent voice in Washington, not someone like Secretary Handel, whose campaign has been bailed out by these special interests who fund these super PACs in unlimited amounts.
There are super PACs and outside groups funding both of these campaigns. But let's be clear, what's really fueling all the money in this is the fact that my opponent has more donors and more dollars coming from outside of the state of Georgia. They are coming from Nancy Pelosi, California, New York, Massachusetts. He doesn't want the people of Georgia to know that he is a liberal Democrat. He is supported by the most liberal elements of the Democratic Party. I support more transparency when it comes to campaign finance rules, but it is more than disingenuous of my opponent to suggest that somehow he has a higher road on all of this.